Oh boy, what's going on, guys? This is Jason of Auglitical. I swim through the politics so you don't drown too. I am just a man trying to bring common sense where common sense isn't so common. I need to update this because I do a lot of videos that deal with whole math type women logic, and I also bash men here and there. But a lot of my content is not just only strictly dickly politics, right? A lot of times it's going, hey, you see that crazy girl right there? Let's all look at that crazy girl over there, guys and girls. That's what you should be avoiding, guys. That's what you should be striving not to become like, girls. Anyway, let's get into it.
I once went on a date with a guy who said that the gender wage gap just isn't real. And I was like, oh, why would you say that? And he said, well, it just doesn't make sense to me. I was like, if you're gonna say something and your best evidence is that it just doesn't make sense to you, maybe you should reconsider. And he kept going on, well, like, think about it. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know what that is. I already know what that is, and I may be shooting a gun, and I try my very best not to do that. But for flavor for the video for you guys, give you some goodies. There's a good chance that the guy knew exactly what it was, and he probably figured she was too stupid to really pick up on it. And instead of bringing it down, bringing down the house with facts and logic, because that would he realized that that wouldn't even work on her, right? You got some individuals out there, and some guys do this dumb shit too, where they no longer are listening to reasoning. But you got a lot of the girls out there who you can explain something to them, and they just it goes out of one ear and goes right out of the other. And mind you, these are grown ass adults at this point, you know. So he probably didn't really feel like going into it with her and just saying it that way to try to best connect with her way of thinking, her method of thinking, her way her brain picks up, things through feeling. Because let's be honest here, this girl's taking a video right now, trying to show off her itty bitties. You know what I'm saying? What did you already take from this type of person right here? He probably was just like, yo, you know what? I'm not trying to ruin my chances. And the sad thing about it is you got a lot of guys who fuck with these type of women, right? And you can be a certain amount of crazy, right? As long as you're hot, the guy will keep giving you leeway. But if she was like batshit ugly, now he would have shut her down real quick anyway.
And I'm so embarrassed that I went on a second date with this guy.
She went on a second date with this guy because either she thought that she can bend him to his will or he was cute enough to the point that she was able to do it. They probably fucked too. And then he probably kicked it to the curb.
I don't know. He claims it just in his head it just didn't make sense. And I was like, yeah, well, I mean it doesn't make sense if you think about it. But that doesn't mean it's not there.
It's not fucking there. Again, this is something that if somebody explained it to this woman, she would not pick up on it. You have women that make up boogie monsters out of thin fucking air. They all become archaeologists out of nowhere with the ability to dig up bones and find evidence of the fucking past out of the ground. Just where the fuck is she digging up this bullshit? You have women who purposely choose to take days off. You have women that choose these roles. And again, it's not a bad thing. A lot of women, for the most part, would rather be spending time with friends and loved ones, would rather be there for their children's recitals if they have children, would rather be there for graduations or family shit like this. The typical chick is not the Japanese salaries man who comes at home at 11 o'clock, goes back to work at 5 type shit for 6 days out of the week, sacrificing his entire life for his career, which, by the way, is not good either. But most women are not like that. Most women would rather be in a nice, quiet place, probably doing some shit like, what is it? Flower shops, librarians, you know what I'm saying? Something that's not so you get what I'm saying? So, in peace of mind, they don't sit there in a cubicle all day and if they do, they're miserable. And again, did this individual just was she supposed to be going to a pool or something and just decided to record a video? I don't understand the logic. Okay, whatever. Let's get into the comments. The gender wage gap is real. It's just caused by women themselves. They self-select into lower paying fields and take time away from work to focus on raising children, impactful labor force participation. Claudia Golden got a Nobel Peace Prize for this. Why talk about politics on our first date? Well, I mean, some people want to get that shit out of the way, but it is kind of silly. I mean, listen, you know what? Probably that's the best thing. But then again, these women, right, who are miserable, these women who multicolored hair, multiple nose rings, cow horns in their nose and shit like this. They consistently go after guys that they know don't align with them politically. In fact, there was this video that I'm gonna put at the end of it by this lady who and I seen some of her stuff before, and I'm trying to, trying to suss her out, like I kind of did that one chick who was giving out male dating advice. And then I found out she was a fucking fraud with my third video. I just was like, yeah, there's too many red flags. Looked into her and found out that she was a complete fucking fraud. But she sat there and she said it. She broke it down pretty well, at least in the video. She said single women ruin every election. Every single election, single women ruin elections. They ruin not all single women, but single women overwhelmingly ruin elections because they rely on government. They buy into every single talking point that pulls at their heartstrings that makes them believe that they are being sympathetic or righteous morally, even if it's destroying the fabric of society. If if they don't if they're not if they don't need to just be single, but if they don't have a structure or they fought to get away from a structure of traditional household traditional relationships. Like if they don't got a family, if they don't see a proper family of mom, dad, shit like that, then they will lean right into voting. So anyway, she doesn't understand the topic. If she did, she agree with them. The gender wage gap isn't real. It's a name applied to the phenomenon that men work harder jobs for longer hours and are compensated more for it. Exactly. How many women are out there right now in the sewer systems cleaning and maintaining them? How many women are line workers, line men? Up there making sure that all of our fucking internet or cellular shit is working properly. What's the percentage? What is the fucking percentage? Let's be real. How many women are in fucking robotics? I mean, of course, with the DEI initiative, they try to bring in more women, but they don't got the love and passion. They're not there for the love of the game. Let's be real here. What did she say? Men don't take 6 months off work for maternity leave, and women still think they're winning against the patriarchy by slaving away at corporations that won't pay them for maternity leave. I work for my boss who hates me. Such a strong, independent woman. I work for my family who loves me. You're being oppressed and degraded. Actually, I just did a video where it was called what was this video called? When the hive is rejected, and it was a woman who was paralyzed for about 2 3 months, and she finally was able to walk. And her husband took a picture, and she thought he was taking a picture of her walking, which he was, but then he started focusing on that booty, right? And you had this fucking chick pop up, and she comes in and she's like, "Oh, this is why we choose the cats." And she thought that everybody was going to sit there and clap, and she got dragged. And this was on Facebook, and I just did a video on it. And I looked at the picture of her. It's a multicolored hair white woman with multiple nose rings. And then you got another girl in the fucking comments talking about the most beautiful person I know. What, physically? In your world? Because her insides is fucking rotten, dog. To even be that comfortable. But yeah, okay. It doesn't make sense because as a business owner, I would pay women. If I could pay women less for the same quality work, I wouldn't hire any males. I would hire females and get the same work for less. But I only hire the best for the job, and the wages are standard across the board. Okay. Again, I think that it's hilarious that, and hear me out on this, when you have women sitting there talking about the gender wage gap and talk about they can do the same amount of work, and they're the same ones. But then again, that's the reason why a lot of these women are into shit like the DEI initiatives and shit like this. Because the funny thing is, when it comes down to DEI initiatives, you know who favor them? It's not blacks, it's not Latinos, it's white women. White women overwhelmingly favor DEI type shit in positions and jobs. Anyway, that's the video. Catch you guys and gals later.
Unmarried women wreck every election. Every election goes hard left. I mean, they vote for the socialists. A lot of them are government dependents. Why? Because they don't have a man, right? Why? Because they're not in a traditional family, right? Because they're doing it on their own. So then you wind up leaning on big daddy government, right? They wreck. They're super progressive. They buy into all of the like pro-abortion, women are oppressed, all the talking points. It's single women that wreck every election.
So after they vote against your best interests over and over and over, and a certain amount of people get into your country, and then those voices no longer matter. The ones who were wrecking the elections in the beginning no longer matter. Now another group comes in and they completely take over once they get a certain amount of numbers for their best interests. And the ones that's complaining to be saved, the ones screaming where all the good men have gone, after ruining everything, now they're the ones screaming where have all the good men gone when they're the ones that voted that shit in there. And now you can't vote yourself out. Anyway, for real this time, peace.